Hi everyone, welcome to the Life System vlog where we teach you how to live the life you fully enjoy.
This is episode number 11, what to do when you feel like you fail. So everybody has times where they feel like they fail, whether it's true or not. But we want to talk today about when you're trying to live according to your personal life system and you feel like you're not living up to your own standards. Or when you are shooting for this perfect day and you feel like everything's just going wrong.
I feel like when we are living our life system, such as this morning, and things happen, it just messes you up. What do you do in that case? First, I kind of freak out a little bit, but then you just need to realize, okay, don't be emotional about this. No one's conspiring against you. It's just things happen. Life happens, and you need to try to readjust and just see it as non-emotionally as possible. I believe that's really the first step, is just see things as non-emotionally as possible, just for what they are.
You can even step back and view yourself kind of like from outside your body, from an outside perspective, as if you're viewing a different person and see, okay, what's really going on in this situation? What would I encourage this person to do if I were giving them advice? Stuff like that.
If you feel like, once you ask yourself that question, if you feel like your life system is not good enough and that's why it failed, if it's not adaptable enough, if it's not flexible enough, stuff like that, then you need to just say, this needs work, let's work on this. Let's work on this problem. Brian Johnson has this really great teaching just about when you mess up, just to say, this needs work.
Use that as a learning experience.
Yeah. Don't be emotional about it and just be like, well, I'm not good enough or something like that. Just say, needs work, and just have that attitude about it. You can come back to it. You can review it, figure out what did you do wrong, what can you do better next time.
And that's a good point. Don't look down on yourself like I'm not good enough. Always try to differentiate. Your identity is separate from what you do, or from
your performance.
Or from even just like life situations that happen. Remember who you are and believe in yourself. Know that you have the strength to do what you're designed to do, what your purpose is. It's just there might be some interferences that need to be removed, and that's okay. You're learning little by little how to do that.
Once your emotions calm down and you actually have time to sit down and not frantically just look over it, really go over what happened, what exactly happened, and how can I make this better. Because that, I always know that, like, I need to make it better. I need to make it worth the struggle. If you went through something that was really painful, what you extract out of that experience needs to be worth the struggle that you went through, or else you won't feel good about it. You'll feel like this was truly a failure, rather than having an attitude of, wow, I'm so glad that we hit this little struggle and we were able to extract so much great learning experience from this. It was totally worth it. Like, you'd do it again.
And there's always something you can pull out, something you can learn, and something you can be grateful for.
So you need to have the attitude of learning and being grateful and stuff like that of that experience. It needs to be really worth it to you for all the pain that you went through.
There are some practical ways that you can identify what things need to be improved upon and what areas you can improve. One area that people tend to fail in is not providing enough bubble room in their timers, especially in their routine timers. You want to make sure that you schedule an appropriate amount of time where you're pushing yourself, you're not babying yourself, but you're also not rushing yourself so that you keep getting behind. So bubble room is one thing to keep in mind. And then the more you do your routines, like your evening timers or your morning timers, the faster they'll become. And then you might want to think about making your times a little bit shorter. Or if you feel like you're constantly getting interrupted, realize that those interruptions will balance out your going faster. So then you'll end up being actually ending at the appropriate time.
When it comes down to real practical, which we're all about the real practical, we have the calendar system, which is not flexible. If you're late, right? So if there's an interruption, you're off. You cannot get back on. That time is already gone.
Unless you readjust your calendar.
Right, unless you can readjust your calendar event, which is something that you need to do. You kind of need to sit down and plan out to be able to do that. But then there's the flexible timers, which is the impetus timer or whatever you use for that, maybe 30-30, where you have your routine that's in a timer and you just go off that, or custom timers, which we use from Todoist. If you are using any of those, they are flexible. You just start it, stop it, pause it, re-drag things in whatever order. They're very flexible. So when you have an interruption or something goes wrong, you can pause it, finish up whatever you're doing, go back to it, hit play, and you're right back on. So just think about if you're trying to squeeze something in before a calendar event or a certain time when you need to leave, don't be over ambitious about that. Make sure you have your most important things first and be totally okay not getting to your third or fourth thing.
And that's important, prioritizing. Even just in your mind, even if it's not like in your Todoist list, because Todoist has priority order of your tasks. But even if it's just in your mind, like, I have to make it to this really important business meeting today, but I don't need to, like, trim my fingernails or something. It's like, well, that can wait. No, like, have an appropriate sense of what's important and what's not.
Right.
And you also want to know what kind of day you have. Sometimes you have a very full day with a lot of events where you're going to thing to thing to thing on the calendar, and it might not even be like appropriate to schedule a lot of custom timers in that day. You might not have a lot of like sit down, get things done time. Other days you might have like nothing on your calendar and you're like, wow, I can do a lot today. But on those days you also don't want to be over ambitious and just plan work. You want to, you know, schedule work, play, rest, eat, socialize, work, back and forth. And you want to have an appropriate balance on those kind of days. So it's important for you to look at your day, preferably the night before, because the next day starts the night before. Your PM prepares for your AM. You want to look it over and know what kind of day is coming up the next day. Is it the kind of day where you have a lot of control over your own schedule and timeline and things can be very flexible? Or is it a very rigid schedule where you're just on the go all day?
Right. The last thing that I think that we should talk about is journaling. When you fail, I know when I fail, I need to really process it. Because if you just feel like, oh man, I had this pretty big failure and now I just need to be out all day just doing whatever, and then I rush home, quick go through my evening timers and go to bed. I think that journaling and processing is something that you should really do. Sometimes you just need to calm down your emotions and just try to figure out, like, it's okay that I failed, but let me learn from this. I know that's my attitude with it. It's okay, but let me really learn from it so this doesn't happen again. Because if you are doing this, having the same failure day after day after day or week after week, you really should, you know, take some time to learn from that so that doesn't happen again. So make sure that you set some time aside to really learn from the failures, to really journal it out and just figure out what exactly went wrong. Make sure you're not just blaming yourself and taking that as a weakness on your part, because failures happen to everybody. Don't take it personally. Make sure you journal it out and really learn from it.
Yeah, try not to just work harder or push yourself further. Try to think smarter. Think, why did this happen, and can I make something easier? Can I make something less difficult to achieve in the first place?
Right.
All right, guys, so let us know what things you struggle with. How have you gotten off LYFE system, and how have you gotten back onto LYFE system? What things have you found to help you when you feel like your day is going off track to bring it back and try to make it into a really great day?
Yeah, so leave those comments down in the comment section below, and we will see you next time. Remember to subscribe.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.